Welcome back from Vienna. This is now about Kosovo. My friends from Kosovo. Hi, Günther here from Pax Europiana from my video channel. We are now in beautiful Vienna, and I greet all of my friends in the beautiful Republic of Kosovo from beautiful Vienna. I want to talk about visa liberalization because that's really important that this is happening now. And some might remember we did this campaign Yes to Kosovo in 2015, and already then it was long overdue to get everything done. But unfortunately, the European Union, unfortunately some member states, especially the French, they have blocked this ever since, and they seem to somehow condition it now on the dialogue. And that's obviously very bad and very negative, and I call for German and American leadership to get Kosovo the visa liberalization and also to be serious and treat Kosovo serious. And in this video I will now talk what Kosovo has to do now in order to achieve that. Because first of all, the Europeans want you to join the dialogue again, and that cannot happen until visa is given to Kosovo. Absolutely stop with the dialogue and be a little bit courageous. Tell it exactly like that. Second condition is to join Partnership for Peace, because there must be some equality. A dialogue must be between equals. So Partnership for Peace is the second condition. And the third one is a clear promise by all European states to include Kosovo in the Council of Europe. Only when these three conditions are met, okay, that three finger thing side in, three conditions are met, then the dialogue can start again. Because otherwise it's not equal, and the dialogue must be between partners, equals, neighbors. Obviously the dialogue is necessary to solve some technical issues, but not under the condition of blackmail, no visa, no Partnership for Peace, no Council of Europe. That's all outrageous. And if the EU would be a bit serious with Kosovo and with Bosnia as well, it would grant both countries the EU candidate status, not only the potential but the candidate status, and then there is real equality on the Balkans between the different states, and then we see who is really a pro-European, pro-American state, like everybody else but Serbia, and then we somehow have better understanding. And all these technical things in the dialogue can then be solved, but concessions in terms of sovereignty are anyhow out of question. And so, obviously I understand that Kosovo is a bit afraid of this because of certain dependencies, and so it needs also strong backing by Albania. And also the visa liberalization will not come without Albania basically threatening the Europeans that Albania will grant all Kosovo citizens as well double citizenship of Albania, and then visa freedom will be already granted. Obviously that must be done smart, because it will be a big scandal otherwise, and the way to do it is basically to ask every Kosovo who wants an Albanian passport to have family relations. You see the churches, I hope, giving me approval. I choose these public locations because I think it's a nice way to do videos, but of course you have some outside noise, and now we are in the middle of this kind of beautiful 11 o'clock. Okay, anyhow, I think you understand me nevertheless, and the point is quite clear. We have to make sure that Kosovo is supported by Albania better. And visa liberalization must be backed up by Albania giving the backing by threatening to grant every Kosovo citizen as well the Albanian passport. Obviously you have to do that. Now it stopped, huh? Okay, obviously you have to do that in a smart way. Everybody has to have some family relations and a residence situation, an address. That's quite easy. Get everybody in Kosovo address in Durrës or in Lecce. They anyhow are there in the summer, and get it done in hotels or in public accommodation, and everybody can prove some family relation whenever distant from the Kelmendi or Berisha clan to get this done. It's also not a problem. And you know, that will wake up the Europeans. Obviously Albania also has to be somehow careful not to be blackmailed by the European Union, But at the moment you have a friend in the White House for 4 years. Mr. President Biden is definitely a friend of Albania and of Kosovo. So I don't think that the Europeans will really cut their funding. They are totally unable to do that anyhow. As we see now in the vaccine crisis, the European Union is not a very able actor in a sense that they do a common policy, and also negative policies they will not be able to find a majority as they don't find a majority for positive reforms. There will be also not one for negative reforms. Obviously, it must be done also to show that Albania really wants to join the EU, and here the integration is the euro. I said it yesterday as well, Albania has to adopt the euro, so basically Kosovo, Montenegro, Albania and hopefully North Macedonia will have the same currency, the euro, so that's already a lot of unification. Because unification of any states is impossible on the European continent. We are also not united, Austria with Germany, and not Belgium with France, and that's all not happening. So the thing is, we will have different states exactly as they are now, and they will be united by the European instruments. EU membership might be a bit of a longer term, but what you can do is to adopt the euro. So you have one currency, one people, one currency. You have the EU customs union. That's I never understood why Kosovo and Albania not conclude a customs union according to EU principles. That's very easy and very simple to do. And it needs just then basically your goods, your produce have no border anymore. And then you also conclude a Schengen-style agreement between Kosovo and Albania, and basically then the border can be no longer guarded. Maybe some people still have to sit there and watch the building, but they can let the goods roll and they can let the people roll, and for all intents and purposes, with one currency, one customs union, one travel zone of a kind of mini Schengen, the thing is done basically, and you have much better prosperity, much more freedom, and also the travel situation inside the European Union can be circumvented with Albanian passports for the Kosovarians. So that's basically the short version of how to do it. And I call again, Albania is the problem because they are not European enough. And that's the big problem. Albania has to adopt the euro, Kosovo has it already, and then Albania has to make the big step towards the customs union with Kosovo and break this kind of glamorous friendship of Rama with Vucic, which was so nefarious. I obviously understand it's important to have good relations with Belgrade, but not over the head of Kosovo. Obviously that's totally wrong. And Belgrade is not the future of anybody in the Balkans but the Serbs. They are in Serbia, and nobody else has to go via Belgrade to Brussels or anywhere else. This is directly. It's membership in NATO, like Albania is, like North Macedonia is, like Montenegro. It's membership in the EU, like these countries are very soon. And when somebody threatens you when you do the euro or you conclude a customs union or a mini Schengen agreement, then you will not be a member of the European Union. You see, anyhow the French are against it in any case. So only with American backing that will happen, and the only thing the Americans will oppose is any kind of unification blah blah, which unfortunately the new Prime Minister-elect has again made very bad interviews which can be misunderstood, and he started a big fight with Grenell again because he, under Turkish pressure, has then somehow made a doubt if he wants to go to Jerusalem to open the embassy of Kosovo there. I mean, that's totally wrong. I cannot understand. You have to go to Jerusalem. If Netanyahu invites Prime Minister Kurti, that's a big honor. Take the whole leadership of the state, rent free airplanes and take everybody down there and celebrate, because that's the most important achievement. And when America wants that, no matter which Democrats or Republicans, then they have made their influence. It was the American president phoning Netanyahu for the recognition. It's the only major success in 3 years. And not to go, or maybe say because Erdogan doesn't want it, that's very damaging for the reputation of Kosovo, to seen as a Erdogan proxy in the Balkans. And that will be very harmful if that's really materializing. But I'm sure reason will prevail, and it's best to go. Don't listen to the Europeans, don't listen to the Turks, yeah. And just when you're invited to Jerusalem by Netanyahu, doesn't matter what it is, you go. There's no doubt about it, yeah. And it would be utterly ridiculous not to go. So here it comes. Kosovo and Albania need to be not as states united, that will never happen, but as member states of NATO and EU. And you have many instruments below it which you can use in order to prepare this kind of equality and also equality in instruments, and that's very important. That's the euro for Albania, that's the customs union for both, and that's also this idea to have passports for the Kosovo citizens, also dual passports. Many in Macedonia do that with Bulgaria already. Many do that in Albania anyhow with a Greek passport, and so it's quite logical to offer the same for Kosovo. And when the Europeans complain, you know, the Europeans are like in a fantasy world. They complain about so many things, yeah, because they really cannot get their act together. They want not this, not that, you know. It's very complicated to fulfill European wishes because there is no unified European idea. Yeah? Obviously, when you do something, they're all against it because you're the one who does something. So you have to do it smart, you have to do it wisely. Not just handing out passports for everybody, but giving passports everybody after a short check if there is family relation or if there is a residence in Durrës or in Lecce. But these are easily to be done, and everybody who has money in Kosovo has already an apartment in Albania anyhow, so give them a passport. Why not? Yeah, that's what we in Austria, we have given so many passports to Albanians, Bosnians, Serbs. Yeah, we have 1 million more people here, and that's very good. And they are all Austrians. Welcome. It's fine, because this is what Europe is about. We have not built Europe of nation states with all these small kind of entities and to be like a prison for the people. No, it's great opportunities in Vienna, it's great opportunities in Albania, it's actually a very fantastic country. It's also great opportunities in Kosovo, and just because everybody is locked into this kind of place where he was born, because of our silly European politics, we are in this problem of higher unemployment in the Balkans, and this has to change. And the way to change is, I think I was very clear. Any doubt? It's the euro for Albania, also for Macedonia. It's also the customs union of the Southern Balkans. Leave Serbia with its confused kind of pro-Russian policy, pro-China policy. You know, they do their own things up there in Belgrade. Fine. You know, that's the way they do it, and they have always done it. They have some success now, for example, in the vaccination issue. But you know, then okay, they can go alone, yeah? But they will anyhow never join the European Union if they don't join NATO, and as it seems, misled by Vucic as they are, they will not join NATO in the forthcoming future. So the idea of EU membership is off the table. That's for sure for this decade for Serbia, and everybody else will be in, and then they will be the last ones, and maybe somebody in the Belgrade civil society will notice that they are the last country not in NATO and the last country not in the EU. Somewhere in the 2030s they will maybe break this spell of the nationalists and come back to European democracy. That's what I hope for. So it's important, you know, to do the things with the passports right and to do the things with the customs union right. And because when you, for example, do that badly, yes, unfortunately Mr. Kurti is always falling for this greater Albania trap, and that's obviously wrong. Yeah? If you fall in that, you will strengthen the Serb nationalists. So you have to do it smartly. And the smart move is a EU-compatible customs union. The smart move is Albania to adopt the euro. The leg anyhow has not such a great history, you know, and if you really want paper money to be with the faces of your kings, then you're anyhow not very happy in the European Union, because by time it's obligatory to join the Eurozone. And if anybody claims that Albania has too much debts, then please go and watch the numbers of Greece and Italy. Now in the Corona crisis, Greece has rocked the boat with 200%, and it's in Italy it's 160 now. So all the Balkans is fine in the euro. Anyhow, it's not the Eurozone, because that's only for members, so it's adopting the euro unilateral. Yes, and I talked about the visa thing. I think it's quite clear. A Schengen free travel zone between Albania, Kosovo and also later Macedonia and Montenegro, that's also possible. The mini Schengen of Vucic is some kind of alternative reality project, and it's not what we need. And also for the visa liberalization, I think the threat alone, and the credible threat, now in the elections in Albania, you have to make that credible. That will be enough to get the visa done. And then with the visa done and the Partnership for Peace, obviously, the road for a dialogue is open again in the end of 2021. But this year you have to be a bit stricter with the Serbs and with the Europeans, and also with Erdogan. Yeah, don't cow into every kind of demand which somebody presents you who has access to the prime minister and says, "Oh, I don't wish you to do that. You cannot do that." Man, you are a sovereign republic. You have your own interests. You have a clear majority. So it means yes to Jerusalem, yes to Partnership for Peace, yes to a clear tweet by all European prime ministers for Kosovo in the Council of Europe, where basically also Russia, this state which it does everything wrong compared to our values in the Council of Europe, is already in, and some kind of clarity is needed and some kind of common leadership. And if that's not happening, I think it will be very complicated to make any progress in the coming years. And now it's an opportunity, because you have President Biden as a pro-Kosovo and pro-Albanian personality, obviously, and pro-Balkan. Yeah, he is not against anybody, but he is definitely for integration and for unification of Europe and the Balkan states with it, inside the European Union and NATO. That's definitely his vision for peace in the Balkans and in Europe. So guys, that's my short video, 16 minutes. I hope you stayed with me in this public square. It's the Vienna 15th district. I give you a short, beautiful kind of surrounding, and I love it very much. Vienna is a great capital. Come, visit and spend some money here. We are in a deep crisis, unfortunately. So please also feel welcome to migrate and to be welcome. Vienna is an open city, it's a beautiful city, and Albanians, Kosovo and everybody from the Balkans is already here, and everybody is very welcome as well to spend time here, to work here, to contribute, and also then to learn how the Austrian system is working. But don't copy Austrian neutrality. That's really bad. Anyhow, and if you have any power anywhere in the future, please invite Austria to NATO, because that's my lifelong struggle to get Austria to NATO. And I have not succeeded up to now, but maybe once Kosovo will be member of NATO and Bosnia, you will be supporting our accession. And if you have a tweet account, tweet to Sebastian Kurz, join NATO Austria. And that's really very important. Good. Regards from Vienna, and all the best. Bye.